I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while sizzling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be, what's good? It's the number one chief rocker, Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie. Welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? All right. I see y'all out there. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh, yeah. All right, y'all. Hey, good Friday night. Good Friday night. Hey, a coach is in the house. B-Baller for Real is in the house. Will Salkin is in the house. Astro is in the house. Salute to my brother JJ is in the house. Cormega is in the house. Ernesto, I see you. Adam, I see you. What's good, y'all? What's good? Yo, so I was cruising about, minding my business like I like to do. And I come across another stupid NBA poll ranking NBA players. Mr. Atkins is in the house. Salute to all the members of the channel. Wiz is in the building. Salute to El Presidente. Yeah, y'all. So I'm cruising. I'm just cruising the streets, and I see that there is another stupid NBA poll that's out there ranking our Knicks players really low, just for clickbait. And of course, I take the bait. Of course I do. Of course I take the bait. You know what I mean? Of course I take the bait, man. So let me do this. We hadn't done this in a long time. I'm just gonna put this link in the chat. We hadn't done that in a while. Yeah, things have been crazy. You know what I'm saying? Here, so it's been super busy over here, summertime, man. You know, the season will be here before you know it. October is October be here like 2 months or so. 2 months and some change, man. Yeah, so I see the stupid poll, right? And I click on it. And as soon as I click on it, I immediately regret it. And when I say immediately, I mean immediately, right? So I immediately regret it. So I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to make this bigger. How y'all out here got my man? How y'all got my man ranked as the 46th best player in the NBA? JJ, I can't help it, bro. I can't help it, bro. I'm hearing the Shohei Ohtani rumors, and I'm looking at Francisco Alvarez, and I'm thinking that this Alvarez kid might be a better hitter than Shohei, bro. I'm just gonna say that the dude is 21 right now with 19 home runs, bro. This dude is gonna be next year. He gonna be 40, bro. This dude's gonna have more power than Pete, bro. Yeah. I can't help it. I can't help it, JJ. Right. But my thing is, how do you have an all NBA player? Right? How do you have T. Smith? What's good, boss? How in the world do you have a third team all NBA player ranked 46th? Right? Just off of all NBA player alone means you're a top 15 player. Right? Now, do I believe Randle is a top 15 NBA player? I don't know. I know he had a top 15 season. The NBA said that. The NBA said that, right? So how do you have a guy that's third team all NBA top 15 player ranked 46th? Right? Yeah, so I have the list. I have this list in front of me, right? I was talking to IKBM Dre earlier. He was trying to talk me off the ledge. I think he was trying to talk to me about Randle is somewhere between 30 and 40. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Right? Because up this list, I'm going to go up the list. I'm going to show you where I think Randle is. They have Drew Holiday ranked ahead of Julius Randle. Draymond Green, Mr. Triple Single ahead of Julius Randle. Get out of here. They have Chris Middleton ranked ahead of Julius Randle. Get out of here. Right? I mean, Darius Garland ahead of Randle. Stop it. How do you have Lauri Markkanen ahead of Julius Randle? Brandon Ingram? Really? Brandon Ingram ahead of Randle. That's nonsense. Right? And then you have others, right? So how is Sabonis ranked ahead of Julius Randle? You kidding me? Pascal Siakam ahead of Randle? Really? There's no way Bam Adebayo and Pascal Siakam are better players than Julius Randle. Stop it. Stop it, man. I mean, you got Zion 17. Get out of here, bro. Get out. I mean, come on, man. Get out of here. Okay. So I don't want to call Randle top 10, right? I don't want to call Julius Randle top 10. I know he's not better than Jokic. He's not better than Giannis. He's not better than Steph. He's not better than Luke. Not better than Embiid. He's not better than Durant right now, or is he? He's not better than Kevin Durant right now, or is he? He's not in the Jason Tatum category, or is he? Right? He's not better than Kawhi Leonard, or can we have the conversation? Is Randle better than LeBron right now? No. How about we start with Jimmy Butler? How about we start with Jimmy Butler? Oh, snap. I didn't even hear my man come in. Hold on. Hold on.
Yo, what's up?
Bro, I'm so mad at this list. I could just, bro.
Well, going by like the rules, I guess there were no rules or parameters, so guys
Right.
could just basically vote on however,
Right.
whatever rules that go along. Like some guys will weigh in availability, and some guys will just not care that a guy is always injured and never plays.
Kawhi Leonard is not better than Julius Randle right now, bro.
On the, I can't say that. Well, okay, it depends on how you view it. Is availability like the best ability to you?
Nope, nope. That's not what I'm going by. You know what I'm going by? I'm going by Kawhi Leonard able to showcase certain skills because he's always on a list with another top 30 player. When's the last time you saw Kawhi Leonard without a top 25 player?
On the Raptors? The second best player on that team was like it was
OG,
Kyle Lowry.
Pascal Siakam?
Pascal hasn't didn't arrive. Even though he was very good in the finals, he wasn't a top 25 player at the
He
time.
might have been like top. He was like top 40, definitely, because he burst onto the scene, bro.
It took him some time though.
Yeah, because we thought OG Anunoby was gonna be better than him,
And
and then he just exploded. Yeah,
nah. But in the finals he played very well
he played great, bro.
on both ends.
Yeah,
But I guess if we keep calling spade a spade, it was the Raptors. The last time he didn't have a top 30 player.
bro. Every
But
time,
they were just a very balanced team, extremely balanced.
right,
So while they may not have had a top 30 player, they had about 4 or 5 guys in the top 60. Like right after that, they were just loaded with
right,
guys that were impactful in different ways.
right, right, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. All these dudes on this list. How do you have Anthony Davis 11, but you have LeBron 9? That tells me right there that these dudes are not better than Randle. Randle's running mate is RJ Barrett.
I mean, it's Brunson now.
Nah, they don't play in this. They don't play the same position. They don't play. Brunson don't play in the front court with Randle.
That talent is talent.
No, Brunson is
If
not
you're
a
in a
front
different
court player.
position, you still like that Freezy. That's like saying Kobe
That's like
Bryant
saying
did.
Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
That's like saying Kobe Bryant didn't help make Shaq's life easier.
No, but that's a separate thing. I'm talking about them ranking these players right now. I know Kobe made Shaq life easier, but I also know Shaq made Kobe's life easier.
Of course, yeah. It's a
Right?
dynamic. Yeah.
Right. 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 But what I'm saying is if you're talking about this list is about right now, like going forward, like in this moment and going forward, right?
Let me pull up the list myself and just scroll down the things that are just egregious.
All of this is egregious. Damian Lillard. Since when does taking a lot of shots make you a better NBA player?
I mean, he just got listed in the top 75, and he had the best his best career statistics, and then they benched him in order to tank.
I like Damian Lillard too, by the way. But I don't think scoring all the time makes you or shooting the ball all the time makes you a great player, bro. It just makes you a great scorer.
Oh, I'm put. You definitely don't think Desmond Bain is better than Randall.
No, get out of here. You see how dumb this list is, bro?
Like, you're not a fan of Evan Mobley?
No,
Not
no.
over Randall.
No, Evan Mobley is not. Bro, everybody ranked 18 through 30 is not better than Randall, in my opinion. Everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Let me scroll through that.
18 through 30, take all those play. Well, Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown should be higher. Anthony Edwards. I'll take Anthony Edwards out of that too.
I'm
Right?
I'm you might not like this, but I think Bam is very, very, very good.
Bam don't do nothing, bro.
What you mean? He averages 20 and 10 and playmates and plays high level defense. Like he's giving you about 80% of Randall's production on offense, and he play makes, and then he's giving you elite defense.
Okay.
So in that regard, I can say that he's. It's not like he's worlds better than Randall, but he's like marginally better.
Randall's top 20 in the NBA easy. Easy.
Well,
Easily in the top 20. And I'm settling for 17 because I don't want to argue that he's top 12. I don't want to argue that he's top 12.
I think Donovan Mitchell is kind of ranked a little bit too high.
Oh wow. I think he's ranked too low.
Nah, I think he's ranked too high, Freezy. We just saw what happened to him the last two times in the playoffs. What happened to Donovan Mitchell?
It wasn't just
No. The last two times we saw Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs, he got outplayed by Jalen Brunson.
It wasn't just him.
What you mean it wasn't just him?
First of all, relax, because you're trying to do the magic trick. You're doing a magic trick with the basketball. First of all, hey Adam, what's good, man? First of all,
yo,
Jalen Brunson did not guard Donovan Mitchell. Let's relax on that. Let's relax. Let's not act
Neither
like
of them
Jalen
guarded
Brunson.
each other. Well, the only way it happened is if Jalen Brunson was seeking a mismatch and forcing a switch to attack. But their initial matchup, they were not checking each other. They were trying to put their three on Brunson the entire series, and then they would have RJ with a mismatch with a small guard on him, and then RJ would take advantage.
I'm not knocking Jalen Brunson.
I'm not keeping real with you, Freezy.
I'm not knocking Jalen Brunson. What I'm saying,
Freezy, going into next year, would it shock you if Jalen Brunson was outright better than Donovan Mitchell?
The thing is outright better is subjective.
Okay, they're in the same tier next year, the same exact tier of play.
I think Donovan Mitchell is a better player and has more upside than Jalen Brunson.
Upside and what the result is, that's two different things. Because
right,
we all know certain players are just more gifted. Like he's way more gifted, which gives him the upper hand in ceiling. But I've also seen both of those guys be de facto leader on their team come playoff time, and one guy led his team over the other when it mattered the most.
I think Jalen Brunson is a megastar. Adam, what you think, bro?
yep, I agree.
Agree with what?
I agree.
What's up, Adam?
What up, Jay? I agree with what Freezy was saying about Donovan Mitchell. He's one of those top stars that we probably need on this team, but we're gonna need more than that.
I wanted to know what your thoughts on Shai just being ranked 13, because we done had some discussions about Shai Freezy.
Oh, you want Adam's opinion?
Oh no, both y'all opinion. Boy,
Okay. Adam.
Oh, Freezy, post. I'll post the list in the chat.
Okay.
I'll post the list in the chat in case for those that want to see it.
Okay. So Justo11, thank you for the generous contribution. Justo says, it's the list that have Miami over us, even though we kept the team intact and they sitting on hands for Dame. Knicks aren't respected because we play gritty. Them. Okay.
I'll say this, Freezy. There is definitely aesthetic bias against the Knicks.
Okay.
Randle is not. He's not viewed as the trophy wife. He's not the pretty player. He accumulates what he accumulates, and he gets raw statistics. And if it's not it's one of those things where, Freezy, you notice, like, a lot of the young players coming into the league, they idolize Paul George, right? Just because of how he looks when he plays.
Right. He's smooth,
How
bro.
yeah, however impactful it is, the aesthetic bias makes you think he's better than what he is, or more impactful than what he is.
Right.
If
Right.
if if Tracy McGrady came up in this era, by all means, Tracy McGrady would be a top 10 NBA player.
In this era? Are
Bare
you
minimum top
serious?
10. Bare minimum top 10.
Are you serious?
What do you
Tracy
mean?
McGrady?
Probably be a top 5 player. But I'm saying aesthetic bias would have guys thinking he was in that prime LeBron tier or something just because of
Tracy
how he looked.
McGrady is Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell mixed together, bro.
So a top 5 player.
And he'd be top. He'd be top. What's greater than one?
Hey Freezie, Freezie, I'm not about to do this with you
Bro,
because he
Tracy
ain't
McGrady.
win, Freezie. He didn't win. I don't believe he won any. How many playoff series he won in his career? One.
But teams win playoffs, bro. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, but you can win. You can win a first round if you a top 1 player. You can drag a team
They don't
across a
put
first round.
the league.
I've seen Jokic drag a trash team to a first round victory.
I saw Randall drag a trash team, bro.
I'm talking about a first round, like winning a series with garbage. Like if you are above a top 1, you can win a series with garbage. If you're viewed as better than one.
What I'm saying to you is they don't put players' names on the Larry O'Brien Trophy, bro. They put teams' names on the Larry O'Brien Trophy, bro.
Hey Frizzy, if he was that guy, the perspective on him would be different. Like I think the injuries and team composition and all this other stuff come into play for sure. But I also feel like he could
BT,
have
would
been
you
he
explain to
could have
him
been
that
he
Julius
could have
Randle is
been he
better
could
than
have
Jimmy Butler?
Okay, before I get into that, good evening, gentlemen.
What's
And
up,
I
bro?
just wanted
salute,
to
bro.
say, depending on which T Mac we talking, if we talking about Orlando T Mac, I think he'd be up there. But
You
even
smoke. What's good, bro?
Raptors, what's up, man? Even Raptors T Mac is still up there because at the end of the day, if you look at the spacing that they now create for guys like his with his skill set, T Mac will be awesome.
He could have
Look at
been
what
better
they
than what
ranked
he
Zion,
was, man. I think he
but
could
look
have
at
been
what they
better than
ranked
what he
Zion.
was.
How you got
Zion
Zion
shouldn't
higher than
even been
Randall?
up there. Zion should never even be up there.
But that's what I'm saying. This is like you just said, these guys go off of fandom. So if they got Zion that high who barely plays, imagine with T Mac. T Mac will be the GOAT.
Right.
So
Like,
for me, Randall's much better than
I'm
Zion.
trying to
And
figure out
this
a way
list is
to.
bogus.
like for even the Zion thing, they put like even some guys' lists don't even have him on the list, like not even ranked as a top 50 player, which goes to show like he should never even have been considered.
This is an exciting debate. I'm loving it.
Nah, man. I honestly think top 15 for Randall at his position at least. Right now in the
At his
league, I think
position, he's
top
a
30.
at
Top
his
three.
position. Yeah, at his position, Randall's a top 3 player at power forward.
Right.
Exactly.
There aren't. Matter of fact, I don't think like who are the premier power players? Giannis,
Giannis.
Pascal, and Randall, and I think Randall's better than Pascal. Like I think Pascal shouldn't be up to 20. That's
But this is the
ridiculous.
craziness. Most people don't even realize that most people ain't even really playing their position. Like Cat Williams is not a 4, he's a 5. And I'm kind of curious to see where Cat
Cat
is.
Williams.
I mean, my bad.
Pimpin', pimpin'.
I'm sorry, Cat. I meant to say Cat. My fault.
Right.
I want to hear what Smoking Nick got to say about this for sure.
Smoke. What's good, bro?
I just came in to observe and listen. What's the topic, man? So I could.
Wait. Hold on. You just came in to observe and listen.
Oh, I just
Hell, you talking? What
look.
the hell is you talking about, bro?
You know, I like to. I gaslight. You know, I'm a gaslighter.
he like, yo, I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm just gonna come up here and sit up here.
I know. You know, I've been saying what people been saying for the past year and year and a half. I've been saying this. So when they talk, I just gotta listen. I don't like reiterating points that I made mad long ago. You feel me? Y'all just caught up. You feel me?
Salute, Eddie.
Eddie C, what's good, bro?
Salute,
That's
salute.
a fact, man. If you
Yo, what's up,
like,
guys?
Hey, bro, we
but
trying to
specifically, what was the question so I could answer it?
just say what you got.
No, personally, I've been knew Randle was that top guy. He helped us get us out the dumpster. I've been saying that. How you gonna put people over somebody that helped us get out the dumpster, do his thing? You know what I mean? Become all NBA. Then what was the hyperbole that people were speaking? He would never do it again after the first time he did it. It was a what they say. It was the COVID season, so no fans in the stands. Then he do it again this year. It's still a problem. Now it's a dude that's never got any accolades on his belt. He just looked better at an 11-game span due to you injuring your same ankle twice. Is all of a sudden better than you. But he doesn't have the accolades that you have, the numbers that you have. But all of a sudden he's better than you now. See how they be doing? They always changing the narrative, pushing it far and deep, doing some quote unquote BS. And if you're not smart enough, you're gonna fall for it. Period.
But also this year they added Randle, so that's what everybody's going on. I mean, not Randle, Brunson. They all were like Brunson is the reason why
But to
we got to
pretend that
start.
Brunson is better than Randle, that ain't true. Just look at the numbers.
Okay. What I'm gonna say? Well, let me do this. Justo11, thank you for the generous contribution. Justo11 says, "How was an All NBA player 46? 46. Sabonis, what? Justo, I'm with you, bro. How you how you gonna randomly take Sabonis over Randle? I think it's just think it's a perception bias. Right? It's just a perception bias. If you don't shoot the three at a high level and if you're not dunking all the time, people feel like you can't play.
Or
Right?
if you don't have
I mean,
high
that
defense,
like
because look at Drew.
there's just not like you got to be on highlight reels to get the eye of the cat. Like this list is created by 25 people of the media. They're not watching Knicks games.
No, they're not watching Knicks.
They not watching Knicks games, and they're not watching the vast majority of the NBA. They're watching highlights, and the guys that pop up on the highlights more get a little bit more leeway because they're, I guess, more seen out there. But if you're talking strictly production for production, outright raw numbers and data and production, then yeah, Freezie, like there aren't how many players? There aren't like 15 better players.
Right, so
if we're talking about straight raw numbers.
I'm gonna say this just so y'all understand where I stand at. I think Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are top 25 players, period. And I mean firmly in the top 25, right? I'm talking about entrenched. I'm like, there's no way another player can bump them out of the top 25.
Zion gotta go.
Right? What? Zion?
I agree.
Zion should not be no damn 17. We're talking. Well, if we're talking about talent for talent, then if we're talking about just straight up actual talent, then okay, he might be a top 5 player in talent. But in terms of what he put on the court, availability, actual data, like playing more than 25 games in a season,
right?
But Dre, that goes into what he played on the court. Think about it. He played 25 games. Look at his stats. He had a double-double. Everyone's looking like, oh, if he had more time on the court, he would be more productive and a better player. But what they don't see is it's a season process to where it takes a team to do it. Zion is explosive, but he's always hurt. Same thing with Kawhi.
Right. Justo, what's good, bro?
at least Kawhi has history on his side. Kawhi can say he's a 2-time Finals MVP.
That's the same thing with George. Then
Zion can't do that.
Right, and Dre, you know what I could say? I could say that I once boxed Golden Gloves, bro. I'm 50 plus years old.
So you saying you and Kawhi got the same knees?
Basically.
Basically,
what I'm saying is we not living in the past. You want to last, be the first to blast. That's Tupac, right? Tupac was saying, talk about the right now. How about right now? What are we doing right now? That's what Tupac was saying when he said that, bro. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about we talking about Kawhi Leonard right now, There is no way Kawhi Leonard right now is better than Julius Randle, bro.
Didn't he play like one playoff game and had like a really good game and that was it?
That was it.
His knee.
Yeah.
His knee got screwed up again.
Yeah. Oh, really? We out here talking about Kawhi Leonard, bro? Really?
But to me it's weird because I hate like this whole thing with like the narrative for Julius Randle because they be like, oh, because even I've seen it. I work in New York and everybody I'm gonna say some people tell me, oh, he's a bad player. He's not that good. I'm like, to make all NBA back-to-back years, you got to be pretty good. And it's weird because the whole narrative is like
2 out of 3, 2 out of 3.
Yeah, always like that. But it's weird because it's like if you really watch him play, you see the responsibility he gets on the floor. And it's like for his skill set, we all know that like there's deficiencies, but he maximizes it to the fullest potential. And it's like, can you just get some love? They're like, nah, not a 360 dunks.
Right.
Nah. Like, and I don't get it.
It's superficial hate, right? So because it don't look good, but it's effective, it's still a problem, right? It's like, first of all, we've been consistent the last 3 years. We've been averaging 20 and 10 at least. So at the end of the day, that's respectable. Ain't everybody ain't doing that in the NBA. Regardless if you want to pretend we need this such big star. It's like, yo, first of all, we need to appreciate what we have before we go back to having nothing.
But Smoke, this ain't about us. This is the NBA landscape talking about Randle.
Freezie. This man Randle.
It's the Knicks fans that perpetuate this, and then they speak about it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Smoke.
Yes, it is.
You talk about something you don't even know, bro. We talking about this NBA list of 50 people around the NBA. We ain't talking
25 media guys.
I thought you meant the perpetuation of hate. My bad. I apologize.
Nah, we ain't talking about that. We just talking about this list.
Freezie, Randle dropped 57 in the game and nobody talks about it.
Exactly.
Never.
Bro, and he could have went for 70, but he was exhausted at the end of the third quarter, bro. You remember that when Randle went off?
Yes.
He was exhausted at the end of the third quarter, bro.
He did that in February, I think. When was that? February or January?
Let anybody that's like listed in the top 30 drop 57 in the game. You would never hear the end of it.
Bro, they'll be getting painted on their shoes, bro.
Imagine LeBron.
You know what I had to listen to after he did stuff like that? Oh, Randle had a good night tonight. I'm like, yo, good night, bro. That was historical, dog. He dropped 57. What are we talking about? It's like, bro, you want to understand when the dude do good, but then when he do bad, you want to over highlight it. That's a problem.
Right. Yeah. So basically, what we getting at the thing with Randle is, bro, there are people on this list in the top 30: Sabonis, Jaren Jackson, James Harden, Paul George, Trae Young, Pascal Siakam, Bam Adebayo, Jamal Murray. Nah, I'm not taking them over.
What
Randle,
I don't understand is how
Harden?
Sabonis is on there when Sabonis is averaging pretty much the same thing as Randle, because I'm talking about the rebounds and the scoring as far as like a 20 and 10 type of guy. They could give Sabonis more credit for doing that with the Kings, which has better offense than the Knicks, but then yet still when Randle does it, he gets hated on.
Right. Did everybody see Sabonis against Golden State? He just froze out. He looked scared, and people said they were like,
they were targeting him on defense because he can't play a lick of defense.
Right.
Exactly.
So he's a terrible defender.
He's a great offensive player. Don't get
Right.
it twisted. But
yeah.
on defense, because when you look at when you look at his statistics, it's like, yeah, he averages 19 at 12 and like 7, but he shoots like 60% from the field or something like that. Whereas like compared to Randle gets like 25, 26 on like 45%, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like Randle takes way more threes. So it doesn't, like, if you're taking perimeter shots, of course, your efficiency is going to go down unless you're like Stephen Curry or something.
But to me, what's weird, like the whole NBA landscape now is awkward because like they go based off hype. Because even I just seen a list of top 5 players for the organization with, and Wemby is 5. And he has not played a lick of basketball in the NBA yet. They go off of hype. And if Julius Randle can sit there and score 60, they're like, oh, he was okay, and they base everything on the playoffs. Like I seen a guy say, oh, Jimmy Butler is better in the regular season than Randle. I said that's impossible. I'm like, Jimmy Butler plays average to below average in the regular season, ups his game in the playoff, which is respectable, but the season matters. Because now if they go to the play and they lose and they're out, what are you going to say?
Yeah. Parazaga, thank you for
know
just
what I'm
because
gonna
Parazaga
say.
says Randall will never be an all-star again, in my opinion. That's that man opinion.
Whatever,
That was
whatever.
random. I don't know
Hold,
where it
hold on a
came
second.
from.
Hold on a second. Can I say something? First of all, I
Hey
want to
Lee,
say hello and put
how you
your
doing, man?
blood clot
Salute.
crying.
Hey, what's up? Salute, Lee.
What's up? Yeah, stop crying, Smoke, man. Stop
You talking
I'm just
about the
kidding.
smoking Nick?
I'm playing.
You know what it
Yeah, I'm
is?
playing
I
with him.
think everybody hated us since the days we had Ewing. Ever since we got Ewing, it's just like that hate. They always
Nah,
gotta find a
it go
player
beyond
like
you.
Ewing. No, I'm not picking on him. I'm saying I loved Ewing. But what I'm saying is everybody hated him because he was just that dog. Same thing with Rasheed Wallace. Everybody was like, "Oh, Wallace is a Knick. He's boring." Whatever. Like a lot of players that play for the Knicks, because of our history, we most likely get the guys on the back end of their career rather than on the prime of their career, so they don't know how to act, is what I'm saying. So when we got Ewing, people were like, oh, Ewing's a bum, but he was defensively one of the best guys. Had he had anybody, I think, that was good, at least as a second option, we would have won because we made it to the finals off of his back.
I'll say this
Twice.
to this point. I'll say this point. My bad, Levi. I'll say this point. I think anybody that puts on the orange and blue, the opinion on them changes to them being underrated. Like, look at how people viewed Melo before he got to the Knicks, and then as soon as he got to the Knicks, oh, Melo's overrated. He's not this. He's just a scorer. But it was all good when he was on the Denver Nuggets, dropping 25, 26 every night. As soon as he
Right.
But
puts
they
on the
don't say
orange and
that.
blue, he's overrated.
But they don't say
But
that
just like
about
they say, it's
Brunson.
all good.
Everybody,
Oh no, you wait, bro. Just wait.
no. Everybody
Just
this year was like, "Oh, Brunson, we got him
that's
for a steal. We got him
that's
for a
this.
steal."
But listen, you remember when Randall went off and they looked at Randall as a particular way that first year, and then every year after that, the perspective changes on a Knickerbocker when you put on the orange and blue and you stay here for multiple years, the perspective changes on you, even if you play well initially, because you
Right.
know as soon as Brunson has a bad 2 games in the playoffs, because it's gonna happen at some point, right?
Everybody does, bro.
Yeah.
You'll see people from the outside. Oh, Brunson's overrated. All he can do is score. He can't really play no defense. He's not a playmaker. You'll hear everything negative about said player just because they're on this team. And I think there is a lightning rod that comes with just playing for the Knicks.
Well, and
It
I
is,
just
yeah.
Joey, let me say this to that point, right? I think with the Knicks haven't been able to do, and it's the reason why Randall is overshadowed, is because the Knicks generally can't put two guys, like the Knicks can't create a great backcourt. Like, when's the last time you seen the Knicks with a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson type backcourt, or a front court like Jason Tatum and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? You just don't, right? And so what happens is the guys that we get, they always have this air of inconsistency. They can't do it from one night to the next. It's because the Knicks never have a tandem. Because if you think about Brunson, and I know this is going to seem esoteric and way out there, but what I'm saying to you is Kawhi Leonard is ranked this high in this list because he plays next to Paul George. Jason Tatum is high on this list because he plays next to Jaylen Brown, right? Zion and Brandon Ingram, even though they don't even play together, even
CJ
if they don't
McCollum.
play, but the thought of them being together pushes them up on the list. And then when you look at Julius Randle, you look to his left, it's Mitchell Robinson. You look to his right, it's RJ Barrett, right? And people are like, ew, I don't like the way that look, right? But if Julius Randle was putting up these type numbers with Pascal Siakam in the front court with him, Pascal Siakam and Julius Randle, in my opinion, would both be top 25 players based on opinion, based on perception. And I hate to even say that or point that out, But to me, people are like, well, if the team is good, it's got to be because of this player. But then when you look at the Knicks, well, the Knicks are good. I don't really believe in them because I see RJ Barrett and Mitch. What else is there? Right? It's the same reason why when Dre was talking about Tracy McGrady, and I said Tracy McGrady would be one of one. It's because when Tracy McGrady played, there was no Kobe Bryant next to him or even on his team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill was healthy, you know what I'm saying? If Grant Hill wouldn't have got hurt and you had Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill
Tim
together,
Duncan went there.
yeah, the
Or if you had him
conversation
with
would have been
a healthy Yao.
yeah. If you would have got that, then now you're talking about like, okay, now the perception of them is different. Because on a nightly basis, bro, think about on a nightly basis when y'all watch the Knicks, right? When Tibbs staggers Brunson and Randle, like when Brunson comes off the floor and it's IQ and Randle, and you see Randle shooting over the top of double teams and missing badly, it leaves like that air of bad taste in your mouth. You're like, God damn it, Randle, what are you doing? Right? But if there was Jaylen Brown and Julius Randle together, and the double team never came, and now you got Julius Randle ISOing on Nazarian Reed. Now you're like, cook him, Randle. And even though that's not fair, it's just what it is. The time we live in. So what I'm saying about Randle is if there was a star player, if there was a player out there, man, listen, Randle would be. If RJ Barrett was a consistent player, Randle would be ranked in the top 15 on this list.
I'm gonna give you an example.
I
Can't
think
you say
Freezie.
that about Wade? Because if you look at Wade, Wade was a very dominant and great player. But then when he got with Shaq, it was just like, what? And then when he went with LeBron, it was like everybody forgot who Wade was. So for me, I agree with you, Uncle. But I'm using Wade as an example because what people don't realize is you could be a great, talented player and be the number one, but nobody respects you until you get that other part.
I'll say like the Wade thing with LeBron. Like when LeBron and Wade got together, they were already both viewed as top 5 players at that time. It just Wade took more of a step back to let LeBron be LeBron as
Yeah,
they grew. But
but
he was definitely a top 5 player heading into 2010 or whatever it was.
yeah, I think it's smoking Nick. But I see his point of like Braun being there was such an attraction that people felt like Wade was a sideshow. Like Wade was still him. But since
Yes.
Braun was there, everybody's so focused on Braun. Wade's like, oh, this is easy. And for me, I'm like, that's the Knicks. Like, honestly, it's just one person to step up because now I'm like, even still with the playoffs, we've yet to see Julius Randle to really see him have a great game in the playoffs. And that's what to me is
Yeah, no,
scary.
he had pretty good game. Well,
But he
I'll
had
say,
good games.
yeah,
But
pretty good. I don't think he had great games in the playoffs, but it's
Okay.
hard to have great
no, it is.
games.
But I feel like, like you have your best player, like you saw how Brunson out there and got that 41. Now imagine
Well,
if him and Julius got 40 apiece, or maybe like a 35-30 game, like when they both are just unstoppable. And plus, remember, he was hurt this year because
I
everybody
was
knocks him because everybody views him for his whole play style for just the playoffs and forgets the regular season.
I was gonna say his best playoffs actually was the game he got hurt, where he had already like 6 assists before he went down in the second half. I mean, the second quarter. So for me, it was like that game could have been his breakout game, but like you said, he got hurt. So a lot of times Randall does a lot during the regular season to where he can't hold up, and people are like playoff translation, and they give him that excuse for him. But then when they go compare it to anybody else, it's okay because he's a New Yorker. That's why. Plus the fans, I hate to say it, we are hardcore, diehard fans that are very brutal, and people don't want to talk to us about ball because they're like, "Oh, what do you know? You guys haven't won in over 50 years." We're just way too passionate for people to understand how we are. So when they look at Randall, our superstar, they're like, "Oh, this is y'all leader. This is who you call king," and we're like, "Yo, the dude's been doing it before we got Brunson. He's gonna prove it to y'all." And they just like, "Well, we heard this before."
I'll say this, like also to that
Facts,
point,
T. Facts, T.
even the way you said that, Freezy, how optics changed by players being around.
Right.
nobody was viewing Jimmy Butler as this type of player when he went to Miami. People were like, why would he go to Miami? Like, what is in Miami? Then you look up and then you realize Spoelstra is pretty much the best coach in the NBA.
Right.
I'm not
So
gonna lie
he can.
though. I was gonna
So
say on the Timberwolves, I
so
knew
he can look like he's impactful. Like Brian, I'm not about to say he's unimpactful or all his other stops, but when he went to Miami, nobody was expecting him to go to 3 out of the last 4 ECFs.
But Dre, you missed my point though. What my point though is the perception.
That's what I mean.
Right,
The
right, it
perception.
could be because if you say that about Miami, then what would be the argument for when he played in Philadelphia when he was surrounded by stars?
And they lost in the second round. That's what I'm saying. The perception changed when he went to a different organization that helped uplift how he's viewed in the public sphere. Because
Okay.
when he first went to Miami, people were like, "Why would you leave the Sixers? You got MP, you got this, that, and the third right there. What the hell is in Miami for you
He
to even
left
do
he
that?"
left because they paid Tobias Harris
Yeah,
and Al
Tobias Harris already.
and Al Horford. That's why he left. They didn't have no money.
Tobias over me?
Yeah, yeah,
But like people were still like Miami. Oh, why Miami of
right.
all the places? And then because Miami was pretty dormant because they just never had a star player for so long.
Yeah,
As soon as they got one, they went to like 3 out of the last 4 Eastern Conference Finals. But
right.
that can help change how you're viewed when you're put in a cohesive organization that's ran well top to bottom from
Is
front office to
Jimmy
coaching.
Butler better than Julius Randle?
Not during the regular season. Now in the postseason, it's different. Like he levels up.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler does not play to that level for an 82 game season, but
No,
in
he
the
don't.
postseason he definitely. But that could be part of his process in terms of like sustaining himself, having himself ready for the postseason.
yeah. It's like he's kind of close.
Whereas Randall is just an animal no matter what. If Randall's on the court, he's going to give you everything he got.
Right, right.
He doesn't play at 80%
Hold on.
speed.
I got one
Right.
question. Who is our best player?
This year,
Right.
Wait. Hold on, Smoke. Hey, tell us who the best player is.
you
Who do you
talking
think
about?
it is?
I think it's Randall because of his consistency.
No,
Because he,
I'm talking about Smoke though. Smoke, who you think is the best player?
Well, if you look at, and I'm not even going to do it in totality. I'm going to just say it straight up. Julius Randle, JR30 is our best player. If you look at the numbers,
Okay.
if you look at even Brunson improving from his season with the Mavericks, Randle still had a better season than him. You know what I mean? It might not have been, I know how people say, oh, the playoffs equals more than the regular season, but if you don't do good in the regular season, you don't even make it to the playoffs for people to show up and stuff like that. So I look at it holistically and in the totality. So when I look at it in totality, Randall's our best player.
Okay.
I was gonna say Randall. I agree with you because Randall to me, he still was getting double teamed. He still was getting trapped way more than Brunson, and it allowed Brunson to open up his game. So for me, I gotta say Randall.
Whoa, time out. I'll say this. Statistically, they're almost identical in how many times they get doubled. Like
True.
both of them.
But my mistake. What I
It's
what
just
I'm
it's
gonna
just
be
the
crazy
it's just
and
that we
say
run.
he's
It's just
used to
that
it.
yeah. Like I'll say this. We just run like an offense that aims to attack mismatches and like we'll run a weave just to get a mismatch and then attack the isolation.
Right.
So both of them are gonna get double the time. It's
Yeah.
just how our process goes, and they play well off of each other in that respect.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's good. Okay. So if we're basing it off Randall is the best player in the first half, because that's what I think it is. I think prior to the All-Star break, Julius Randle is the Knicks' best player because he has a clear agenda of being an All-Star, right? Like I think he's going to give everything he got in order to make the All-Star team.
You think
And
that's
then,
the only reason he did it?
no, that's not. No, I didn't say that's the only reason. I'm saying that might be his primary motivation. I'm not saying that's his only motivation.
Everybody got goals.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Every like RJ Barrett's goal is to be a 20-point per game scorer, right? It doesn't mean that he don't want to win, right? It's the same thing with Randle. I think Randle wants to prove to the people around the NBA that he is a bona fide all star, and I think he is. I listen, when y'all come on the panel, I know y'all have something to prove, right? Y'all want to prove that y'all are smart and y'all have good, eloquent points. You know what I'm saying? And come in firing at times, right? And say, listen, I'm all for it. Randall proving that he is amongst the best. There's nothing wrong with that. Shouldn't that be what we want? The thing about it is when you go all out for the first 50 games of the season, what are you going to have in the gas tank for the last 32 games and playoffs? If you give everything you got in the first 50 games, right? And then the other thing too is Randall over the course of his Knicks tenure has been carrying RJ Barrett at the beginning of every season. And we all know this, but we don't speak to that point that RJ Barrett starts off every season
Slow.
slow, right? But we don't speak to the point that Randall carries RJ at the beginning of the season, right? And for the last couple of seasons, one could even say he had been carrying Mitch also until Mitch gets into a certain rhythm, or some people will call it getting in shape, right? But in turn, until Mitch gets into a rhythm, RJ Barrett comes out the gate looking bad, y'all. We know it, right?
For sure.
And then, quite frankly, if you look back at the shooting guard spot, there's been a different person in the shooting guard spot every season that Julius Randle has been here,
Yep.
right? So you take that into account, and then when you take into account that the point guard position every year, you're talking about Alfred Payton one year, then Kemba Walker. When you saw it was Alfred Payton,
It was 2 years of Alfred,
2 years of Alfred, yeah, 2 years of Alfred,
then
then a year
Kemba,
of Kemba,
then
and then a year of
Alec
Jalen
Burke.
Brunson. Yeah,
Then Alec Burke. It was half. Well, it was like 30 games of Kemba, then like 50 of Alec Burke.
yeah, of Alec Burks. Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
when you take all this stuff into account, and the fact that Julius Brunson, that Julius Randle comes out the gate like gangbusters to make the All Star team, I personally find it impressive. That's why I feel like when you tell me that Kawhi Leonard is better than Julius Randle, I'm like, no, no, don't even, no, no, stop. Let's not have that conversation. You don't want to have the is Anthony Davis better than Julius Randle conversation. You don't want to have that conversation. Dre, you want to have that conversation? Anthony
Uh,
Davis is better than Julius Randle?
um, I don't know if I can say that just yet, Freezy, because of what AD brings on the other end. He's still an elite defender,
He's an elite defender, right? Right.
and he gives you essentially the same production or very close to the same production on offense. But he also plays with LeBron. So,
He also plays with LeBron. Hmm.
but if we're putting respect on Brunson in that respect, right?
Right.
Then Randall plays with Brunson.
Right. But you only got
He's
that
not
1 year.
LeBron, but he's Brunson. Yeah, 1 year. It's only going to get better from this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's only gonna get
I'm gonna if I can interject there. I've been listening to you guys. Everybody's been saying the piece. Um, I think actually because what you guys just said that this is gonna be the second year of those two guys playing together. Um, I'm predicting that Julius Randle might have the best year of his career.
okay.
He's gonna have the best year of his career, and he's also going to be able to play within himself during the regular season, already being in the postseason, hopefully the third time this year coming.
Okay.
So it's something where, mentally you have to get there. Um, you have to be there a couple of times so you can just feel everything out and see how everything goes and just pace yourself until that point. I think there's no doubt about it that we're going to be a playoff team next year, and he knows that. I think the team knows that, front office, everybody knows that. So it's going to be a different type of preparation for Julius Randle. I think Brunson already has that part already down because he's been a champion in college, And I think he just knows how to win. So he's gonna already be mentally prepared for that. But I think Randle, he had to move, he had to gain that, and I think he's in the right place right now. You know, this injury could be a blessing in disguise where he can take it easy during the off season, be a little fresher for the end of the season next year, and come in. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal year next year, man. He's gonna be
Facts.
talked about in those top. You
Facts.
know, when this list comes out next year, we'll probably see Randall around 20, 21, 22.
Well,
Um, and I think that's okay. He should be around that area, even if he wins a third team All NBA. Everybody knows he has deficiencies in his game. There's holes in his game. There's temper. He has a temper. So all that they equate all that into like when they put in these stars on certain lists and stuff. So
I think
that's
some of it is also equated like um being able to close out games. Like I think not a slight to Randall because there's a lot of things that come into play, but not he's one of the least efficient fourth quarter players in the league, which is fine because we have Brunson, who is one of the most efficient fourth quarter players. So they take turns. Like Randall comes out the gate on fire, and then there's like they try to sustain the team throughout the course of the game, and then Brunson brings us home. That's basically been the formula
Right.
for the most part since January, right?
Right. Right.
But I think part of the thing that makes it aesthetic bias and narratives, if you don't see a guy close out games repeatedly, they start thinking, oh, another guy is the better player just because they close out the game. It would be like, but that would be like saying Kyrie is better than LeBron because Kyrie closed out games. He's
No.
not.
No.
but I think this
He's just
year,
his specific skill set is just better for that particular thing. Just like Giannis, like Chris Middleton is for Giannis or something like that.
I was gonna say that my worry this year is how much pressure is Brunson gonna get. I think he's gonna get it all as opposed to Randall. I think Randall's gonna be all right because I think we just who do we sign to a two-way contract for like 50 games? He another chubby chaser 250 to back him up. So Randall got
Night.
somebody that can. Yeah, thank you. They got somebody to cover him. But my thing is for this to work, we need someone to back up. And I think it has to be RJ as much as I hate to say it.
I
He's
was
got
I
to
was
be that
I
guy
was
to back up Brunson, like on severely.
I was gonna agree with you to that point because if what we saw in the playoffs in terms of his decision making is real, if his decision making is real from that postseason coming into this regular season, he'll make everybody's life easier. He'll make Randall's life a hell of a lot easier. He'll make Brunson's life a hell of a lot easier if he just decides to make the simple and right play, not force anything, not dribble into traffic.
who is this?
Just
RJ? You talking about
yeah,
RJ?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yep,
yeah.
RJ.
If
I was, I
RJ
was,
decides to simplify his game, eh,
I was,
it'll make everybody's life easier, in my
Who did
I was
opinion.
we?
gonna
Who did
ask.
we? We were talking the other day, Freezy. Who did we say that RJ could be the best if he would just do if he can mold himself after one player? I
Ruben
mentioned
Patterson.
some. I did, but I mentioned somebody, but I forgot who it
I want to
was.
say
Do you
Jesus
remember?
Shuttlesworth.
I can't remember. It was
He
with
can't shoot
it
like
was with
that.
Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, Dylan Brooks.
Okay.
If he can just be a sort of a Dylan Brooks, we know he's not going to shoot well, but if he can just play defense on the wing, um,
The thing
But
is, like the
Can I
Dylan
ask
Brooks
something?
part, like we've seen flashes of RJ where he is, oh, like he is almost at times he can be a dynamic playmaker for himself and others. It just you don't see it all that often because he makes bad decisions half the time. But when he
Yeah.
finds a
when we
groove,
drafted him though, when we drafted him out of Kentucky, I thought he was going to be
but we never gave
um
him the ball.
that but is I thought that was something that it was innate already for him. You know what I'm saying? It was something that he didn't need to learn. I thought
But
that he was like a big point guard.
he
You know what I
wasn't a
mean?
big point. He's just a big natural playmaker. But at that point, there's still a learning curve because remember he was 19. Like we never actually gave him the ball and just was like, "Yo, just be a point forward." take as many mistakes as you can. What we did was we signed 4 power forwards. We made Marcus Morris the number 1 option.
Yep.
By the time RJ was hitting his stride, the season was canceled, if you recall.
Yep.
Because RJ started that season.
I don't know, Dre, because when I see somebody that's a passer, that I thought RJ was, I think that's just a natural talent. That's not something. It's not like
But some
shooting.
things have to be honed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mean.
Some things have to
I
be
don't think
honed,
it's
bro.
like shooting. I don't think it's like shooting. When you're a passer, you're a natural passer. You just know how to pass. Like you know what I'm saying.
I'll give you an example. I'll
Isaiah
give you an
Hartenstein is a natural passer. We
I'll
don't
give you
use him
an
in that sense, but I know that he's a natural passer.
I'll give you an example of a guy who honed a particular skill. Jason Tatum did not pass at all
At all.
his first 2, 3, 4 years in the league, and now he averages like 6 assists per game.
Yeah,
Because
But that goes to
because
IQ though.
yeah, I mean, but you have to get the reps to do it, and you're gonna make a ton of mistakes when you're getting the reps. Like
I'm not
it's
saying
part of the
that you can't.
process.
I'm not saying that if you're not a good passer, that you can't not become a better passer. I'm
Yeah,
not saying that. I'm just saying that when you are a passer, like I know Julius Randle is a great passer. The guy is
Yeah.
a power forward who does these things on the outside that not a lot of power forwards can do, but
Right.
always averages 5 to 6 assists a year. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So I know the guy can pass. Sometimes he doesn't trust his teammates. It depends on where he's at. There's factors to it, but I
He
know that he's a
passes
good
people
passer.
open. Yeah, he passes people open, bro.
I, I
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'll say
And,
this.
Let me make a point real
I
quick.
think
Are you
and
I
done, Dre?
think I well, I'm gonna say this one thing. I think that makes passing like your turnover to assist ratio matters. Like you can get 4 assists, but if you're getting 4 turnovers to go with it, it isn't
Like
as
Russell
impactful
Westbrook.
as
Like
yeah.
Russell Westbrook, he'll get like 20 assists, but he'll have like 30 turnovers.
Well, that's a little bit.
Mm.
It's more like a 10 and 5 thing, not a 4 and 4 thing. Like he'll get his 10 assists with 5 turnovers. That's his thing of his high
Yeah.
usage.
Steve Nash
It's
did that, and he's in the Hall of Fame, 2-time league MVP.
yeah.
What I was gonna say about Dillon Brooks, I don't expect RJ to be Dillon. I expect that more from Grimes because I think that it would be better for us if we're gonna compare RJ. He may not be as talented as a scorer as Bane, but I want to see RJ more of a Bane type role player where he just comes in, can be efficient, make better scoring options and actually can pass and help out the team, but just be consistent on the scoring end. So for me, I would love to see Grimes
Ooh.
be more of that of
Yeah,
Dillon
BT.
Brooks.
I think you're wrong on the Bane thing, bro.
Yeah,
No,
Bane
I'm not
Bane
saying he
takes
has
like
the skill
nine
set.
threes a game, man. Like
I'm
Yeah.
not
oh
talking about
oh,
the shooting. I'm
you
talking
talking about
about
the
the
mentality?
yes, that's what I'm talking about. The mentality of a Bane. I'm not saying he got to be shooting threes. He got to be coming down and doing all. No, Bane is
Nah,
a very unique
Bane.
talent.
Yeah,
But
Desmond Bane and those guys not the same. Desmond Bane is more. Desmond Bane is headed down that Chris Middleton road.
okay, so then I can't say
Yeah,
that.
because Desmond Bane is the super complimentary player, bro. Like if you need if everybody gets hurt except Bane and you need a number 1 option, you're gonna have to go out and get a number 1 option and
Because
leave
he's not
Desmond
gonna
Bane.
do that.
Yeah. You're gonna have to go get you a number 1 option, bro. Bane ain't that guy. Bane is the super. He is the super Chris Middleton, bro. Like if Giannis was to miss 3 months, they'd have to go out and get them another. Because Chris Middleton is not gonna be. He'll be great in his role, but he can't. You can't elevate him.
Bane reminds me of Michael Red.
Yeah,
Ooh,
B-
that's a
That's a
good one.
fact.
Bane reminds me of in his role, Chris Middleton. In his game though, probably Michael Red. But if you're talking about accepting what you bring to a team, I think he's Chris Middleton all the way.
Where
Kind of like in that Klay Thompson role. Like
I could
If
see.
Steph gets hurt, Klay can't be Steph.
I was going to mention. I'm not comparing them, but I was going to mention something like a Clay. Like Clay is really good in his role. He's
Right,
like like you say, a super complimentary player.
right.
But on his own, Klay Thompson couldn't carry a team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and again, I'm not comparing those two guys, but they play the same position, so I guess we can compare them in that sense.
Yeah, I think he is like Clay is the lobster mac and cheese, bro. He is the excellent side dish, bro. But he
Yeah.
can't. But he's never gonna be that sizzling steak, bro. He's just not. But there's
He's
nothing
not. He's
wrong
not.
with
He's
lobster
not the
mac
Potato
and
surf and
cheese.
skins.
turf. He's not the
He's
surf
the
and turf.
potato skins.
Yeah. But and there's nothing wrong with that, bro. There's nothing wrong with being the lobster mac, bro. If you put truffles and garlic butter, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now
What
you
I'm saying.
talking.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. I think RJ needs to be. I didn't mean to say Bane, but that mentality, the way he can go out and be efficient offensively, then we got what we need as far as our three. Because then you take pressure off of Brunson, and you also take pressure off of Randall, and they could just play their game consistently. Because my thing is I'm telling you, Brunson's gonna be a star, but that pressure is gonna be. You're gonna start seeing him get triple teamed out of nowhere just for no reason, just because they're gonna try to shut down the ball being passed out of his hands to an open man. So for
Okay.
me, I need RJ to step up to where he got 19 points last season, which I'm okay with. It was a soft 19, but I need to see that like how Bane come out in the beginning of the season. And he
He needs
just
to be a pressure release.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I
Yeah.
think
Hey,
I think he has it in him because what we want, like the idealized version of RJ, is a jack of all trades but a master of none.
right.
Like he can be able to
Yes.
patch up a particular hole of what we need on a night to night basis. Because some nights we may need RJ to get 25, and then some nights we may need RJ to get 8 assists,
Yeah.
and some nights we may need RJ to get 9, 10 boards.
Yep. Yep.
You
Hey,
just
so
have to be able to be reliable to give us something on a night to night
so
besides empty 18, 19.
right. And Paris
And
Tucker,
and
thank you for
also
the
when
generous
he
contribution.
matures,
Paris Tucker says, and if they pay Randall 200 million, me and Brunson are outie.
You know him?
And Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says 36 games. Brunson shot 46% from three. Stop it. Yep, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm with you. That number was like 48% from three, right? I
Yeah, it
think the
was
number was like
something.
48.
Something ridiculous. He was shooting crazy.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, what was Eddie? Eddie had something to say.
Yeah,
nah, I was just gonna say that I think RJ Barrett at 25, when he's matured enough and he's gonna be stronger than half of the people in the league, is gonna be a problem.
yeah.
I don't
My
think there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna stop him going to the rack. Like now, he doesn't get enough lift because he's still not strong enough to go against Draymond Green when he's going on in the paint, or whoever's down there, players like that. But
I'm
when he gets
I'm
25, he's 23 right now, right? So he's gonna be going into this 20. He's gonna be 24 going into next season.
I,
He's
I
still a
mentioned
young buck, man. He's
yeah
still a
I,
very
I
young
I
kid.
mentioned this to Freezy I think the other night, but I was like, we remember when RJ hit like a shot against the Rockets against PJ Tucker when he was 19,
right,
and he muscled PJ Tucker out the way
right,
Hmm.
as a 19-year-old
right.
against grown man strength PJ Tucker. So I think part of the most thing, like if you want to get the most effectiveness out of RJ, it's some of it. Sometimes you got to be able to have it like nobody in the paint. Sometimes you're gonna be able to have to run those small ball lineups.
Yep.
That's why he
Sometimes you're gonna
plays.
have to
That's
have
why he
Randall at
plays
the
in the
five.
sec. He plays in the second unit with Isaiah out at the free throw line, and Josh Hart out there. Even Chenzo's going to be out there now. Emmanuel Quickly's out there, so he's able to do what he has to do inside, and he was doing some of that in the playoffs. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
and
gonna be he's gonna
making
be
smart
he's gonna be
decisions too.
fine. He's not gonna be this 3-and-D player that we think about that's gonna defend at 100% clip and is gonna shoot a 40% clip from three. That's not gonna be him,
Yeah,
bro.
he's not
He's
gonna be
gonna be
Glenn
a
Rice.
he's gonna be a tough three to guard um in the trenches, as they say.
I would to that point though. I would say this. I love RJ Barrett more than any of you guys, right? And
You
I've been an
sure?
RJ Barrett and I've been an RJ Barrett fan since day one, bro. And I've been telling y'all that RJ Barrett is the golden child and the future of Knicks basketball for a long time, bro. But it might be time. It might be time to offer RJ Barrett for Anthony Simons and just move on. Right. And I love Mitch also. But then when I go back when I rewatch games, bro, when I rewatch games, I see Mitchell Robinson's man just leave Mitch at about 8 feet and go double team RJ. And you like, oh my God, this thing right here, this can't happen in modern NBA basketball, bro. You got to, if your big man is not a threat offensively at all, then you got to run a different type offense, right? But going to the sending RJ Barrett to the rim like a kamikaze pilot, knowing that the opposing team's center is going to double team RJ once he gets to the dotted line because Mitch is no threat to score 7 feet away from the rim, is
Freezie,
crazy.
Freezie, they're sending the weak side defender, then Mitch's man, and then RJ's man is trailing.
Right.
While
Right.
he's going to the rim.
Dre,
Right.
is that why you saying? Is that why you saying start Randall at the 5?
No, not start.
No, we
I
saw
mean, I
Randall.
start
Just,
my
just,
fault.
just,
Play
just
him
like
at the small
some
ball.
lineups. Like we play
Okay.
8 to 10 minutes every game of Randall at the 5. Even Randall at the 5 will take advantage of teams' other bigs, especially if we're going to like against him doing that against second units.
Especially Randall versus Bam Adebayo is a matchup I love watching, bro. Because people talk that Bam, oh Bam, 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 Bam. When Randall gets Bam Adebayo, bro, it's like watching a cat play with a mouse, bro.
Bam
Because
like a ham sandwich.
yeah, because Bam's gift is he is an athletic 250-pound dude that can move his feet well and is very strong. But you know what happens when he plays against another 250-pound dude that's athletic and can move his feet and is very strong?
That chest gets weak because that
That
pressure.
that advantage Bam had is no longer an advantage.
Yeah,
And we watched it.
Randall's able to get the shot up in small spaces. So all that
Yeah,
athleticism, Bam is good going lateral, taking away your driving lanes, but Randall will get a shot up in 2 steps, boom, boom, do the mellow on you, and
right.
and Bam won't be able to do nothing.
But
He won't be able to
I'll
guard
I'll
you.
I'll say that to this point, Freezy. I think yeah, but in a team concept, if you're like Randall and Randall and like we saw in the playoffs, even though Randall wasn't healthy, they will funnel Randall into like help defense
Right.
repeatedly. But
Right.
when you have Randall at the 5 and you're actually having normal spacers out there, because when Bam was checking Randall, they were ignoring Mitch. They were using Kevin Love as like the zombie. You remember? You
Yeah.
remember what Capella
Oh,
did?
look at
Yeah,
me. Look at me, Randall. I'm coming. I might not. I'm on the way. I may
yeah,
not. Yeah.
and when you do that, you're making Randall become more one dimensional on offense, where it's just you're just gonna get the jumper.
Right.
And if you know the jumper's coming, it's easier to defend the jumper. Whereas if you have Randall at the 5 at times, not all the time,
Right.
but at times, you just created more space artificially or tangibly. Like you created more space for him to do things, and you have more wing players that can shoot or guards out there that can shoot instead of Mitch being out there. Like it's a reason why we tried to win the game in the playoffs with Randall at the 5. That was the reason, because we thought it would be the easiest way for us to score, right? We thought in the most important possession of the year,
The
we
most
thought
high leverage. Yeah.
we thought Randall at the 5 would help us win.
Right.
But we didn't do it all year. But we thought, so at that point you got to recognize, and it's something that's Randall's done before. Randall at the 5 in spurts
Right.
can be a game breaker. It can cause avalanches against other teams. It doesn't have to be something that we bring out for 25 minutes a night.
Right.
It can
But
be something for 8 to 10 minutes, and it
Right.
gives Randall a break where he's going against team second units as the
Right.
5. If you notice Giannis's sub rotation
mhm.
on the Bucks, they sub him out early and then they bring him in at the end of the first quarter, so
Right.
he goes against second unit centers while
Right.
he's playing the center, and he
Can
just
I?
destroys them because of
Right.
the spacing, because they have shooters around him.
Okay.
I was gonna
It's
ask a
something that you have
hypothetical.
to put out there. But yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Because the thing is that's a great idea, but I think Mitchell and Randall, if they were to run it that way, I think they would have to switch on offense to where Mitchell played a 4, to where I know he got stone hands and he's not an offensive threat, But to get to your point, I think that could help out Mitchell a
No,
lot
no, no, no.
because
When I say Randall at the 5, Mitch is not on the floor. Period.
okay,
No.
okay. That's why I was asking. I'm just making sure because no one tips he might do something like
No,
that.
no,
Like
no, 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 no,
let's
Nah.
no.
put
When
yeah,
when I
okay.
say Randall at the 5, it's Randall and guards and RJ.
Okay, cool. Like Hart
That
and all of them. Yeah, I
yeah.
got you.
It's not Mitch standing by the 3 point line being even more of a liability because
Yeah.
they would just ignore him. They
Nah, but
ignore him
that's what
right in
I'm
front of the
saying.
rim half the time. So like it's one of those things where you got to be able to take advantage of the fact that Randall is a 6'9", 260 bull
Right.
and a mobile bull
Right.
that no center in this league can actually check,
So the
especially
best.
given spacing.
So that would be awesome if Brunson's on the bench because then they'll just focus on him and he'll be able to just go to town. Because I'm
Brunson has been playing in a 5-out offense for
yeah.
like before he came here for 4 straight years,
Right.
where they had a center by the 3 point line and he was just teeing off in isolation.
Right.
Brunson is just so good at isolation where he can live with someone standing in the paint and them sending help defense. He's just that good of a player. But I think Randall can benefit from that even more than Brunson can. Just in spurts,
Yeah.
not all the time.
Yeah.
I was can I ask a quick question? Because I feel like the general belief for this team is that we'll be obviously better at the beginning of the year because we got our team kind of like halfway the trade deadline, and then like everybody kind of just started gelling towards the end of the season plus the playoffs. Um, where do you see us within like the first half of the season? Because I believe that we're like better than so many teams already, just because like we've kind of like got a lot of the pieces that we need. And I feel like in the East right now, it's so, or technically in the NBA, it's really open because there's no like glaring obvious favorite. It's really like one
Yeah, let
for
me jump.
it's anyone.
I jump on that real quick. I think what's going to happen early on is if Grimes don't show something early, he may be on that Knox, Obi, Frank train. You know
You
what
think
I'm
it's
saying?
Grimes next?
I think it's Grimes, right?
Wow.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. Why would they bring in Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo if they didn't feel like they needed an upgrade at the shooting guard position? The last major
Mm.
transactions you saw were at the position of Quentin Grimes, right? That's the message. Like, hey, kid, listen, we feel like you have talent. We feel like you could be the guy. But if you don't show us something, you know what I'm saying? Because cats call Leon Rose. They like, yo, Leon Rose is smart. He the done, bro. He don't just he playing chess while everybody else playing checkers. All these sayings, right? And if you believe that, then why would you believe the last two major moves he made at a position is not an upgrade over Grimes? I think if Grimes don't show something early, bro, he might be that guy. It's not quickly, right? Because quickly brings something special to the team, right? He's going to be the backup ball handler. He's going to be in that rotation, doing certain type things, right? For what we ask of Quentin Grimes, I think they're going to ask the same thing out of Dante DiVincenzo. And quite frankly, Dante DiVincenzo right now might be a better defender than Quentin Grimes. We give Grimes the reputation that he's a great defender because we always see him defending the other team's best guys. But when you look at numbers and stuff, Grimes don't really shut people down, bro. He's just a body that we throw at the other team's best guys.
Just to
And
slow him down.
yeah, see, I believe in Quentin Grimes, right? I think Grimes will have a Paul George, Kawhi Leonard type impact on the Knicks. But at the same time, I can be wrong, and the writing is on the wall that if we don't upgrade that shooting guard spot, bro, if Grimes doesn't take the bull by the horns and beat out DiVincenzo and Josh Hart, then Grimes might be that guy that we like, yo, why Grimes only played 17 minutes tonight, bro? You know what I'm saying? What's Tibbs doing? Why Grimes didn't finish the game, bro? You know what I'm saying? Tibbs, what's going on? why Quentin Grimes went out with a soft injury and we ain't seen him in 11 games. He might be that type of guy. You don't bring in a Dante DiVincenzo. You don't tell Josh Hart to pick up his team option so you can give him a long-term extension if you don't want to upgrade the shooting guard spot. And it's sad for me to say it that way. I hope Grimes is a star. I hope he is a star. But the writing is on the wall. And for those that don't believe me, if the Knicks had did the same thing at the small forward spot, y'all would be like, yo, hey man, maybe RJ is on his way out. Because think about it. What if the Knicks had went out and traded for Josh Richardson instead of Josh Hart? And then in the offseason signed a small forward. Y'all have been like, okay, they sending a message to RJ Barrett, right? But Grimes, because if we're being honest with each other, right? If we're merely being honest with each other with all the information that we have, right? They have definitely been focusing on upgrading the shooting guard spot, bro.
I'm gonna keep it real Freezy. I don't even think it's just a Grimes thing. I think it's a RJ Grimes and Quickly thing. Like he's Dante is insurance for if any of these guards go.
If any of these guards, right?
Because he can step in. He can be a 2. He can play some on ball 1,
a little teeny bit, yeah.
But
teeny bit.
He can be complementary,
right?
And he can organize a second unit at times. So it's one of those things where I think it's the move before the big consolidation move.
Yeah, man.
So when we do make the big move, our cupboard isn't empty. We're not trotting out non-NBA players and two-way guys to be in spots when we have the star here.
I want Grimes to be, listen, man, I want Grimes to be a star. And I know people are always saying, but you called him a ham sandwich. Yeah, that's when y'all was calling him Klay Thompson. When y'all was calling him Klay Thompson, I was calling him a ham sandwich. When y'all said he was Reggie Miller and Gary Payton mixed together before he even got his jersey.
Klay Thompson?
Yeah, Klay.
Because of them 3-pointers.
Yeah, they call him Ray Allen and Tony Allen mixed together before we even know what his jersey number was going to be.
Tony?
Yeah. You remember that, bro? Yo, Uncle Freezie, you crazy, bro. He ain't going to be Damian Dotson. He going to be Tony Allen and Ray Allen mixed together. Really?
So with the scenario that you gave with Grimes, you said how if he starts the season, he's not coming up to stay, to their standards. What's the move you make to get off of Grimes?
You don't make a move to get off Grimes, bro. You make a move to get a star, and you include Grimes in it.
Grimes is just the collateral.
Grimes. Because think about it. If Grimes had that much value, like you insinuated, then why would you even trade him? If he had that much value.
If Grimes had that much value, we would have already had the star here for him. Teams would be like, okay, give us Grimes. Just, hey, take our star. Get Grimes. We'll get Grimes in here. We're going to max Grimes out in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And keep it pushing.
Oh, shit.
and I honestly believe like this is the year where we're going to be shot by one of these teams that should be good are going to be really bad, because like this is the time when like it's weird because like for me it's my first time seeing like a lot of the guys that I grew up watching. They're like starting to get older and doing the teams that they're on are starting to just like get older. Like when the Bucks got really good, I'm like, oh okay, this might be a thing for a while. And now I was like, oh. This is obviously towards the end. And Giannis looking around and like, I think Drew said next year he's retiring. Middleton, obviously, he's hurt coming from an injury. He doesn't look the same at all. But Lopez already up there. They just gave him a deal. And they got his brother. He's not any younger. So it was like, you look around the league, it's like, oh, we're starting to see the other teams. Like, you see Philly don't got anything. There's already rumors about blowing it up. So it's like,
but on your point, on the point that you were talking about the Knicks though, because you got like 3 different points. Let me. If we're talking about the surprising part about the Knicks in the early part of the season, if we're just talking about that, hey man, listen. If RJ Barrett gets off to another slow start,
That's it.
Knicks fans are gonna get off the Randall hate train and get on the RJ hate train, bro.
I
It's
think
gonna be
Because
Knicks
a
fans were
riot.
already on the
Yeah,
RJ hate train.
yeah,
It's
since
yeah,
day
it's
one.
gonna be a riot in the
yeah.
city,
By
That
bro.
next
For
season,
real.
yo.
You know what's funny though, Freezy? I see just because of the continuity. I think we start off on fire next year.
right.
I
Yeah,
think we
facts.
start off on fire. I'm being dead. Like I can see us
25 wins.
easily.
Dre,
I can
we
see
on the
us
same
easily.
page. We on the same page, Dre.
I could see us easily being a top 3 seed heading into the All Star break.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But remember now, I'm not saying that the Knicks are going to do that. That's not my belief.
Okay.
What I'm saying, what I was saying is when he asked what would surprise you, you know what I'm
What?
saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When you
yeah.
think about how the question was framed,
Got you.
that was my answer. I think the Knicks are going to win 53, 55 games next year. I could easily see the Knicks being 53 and 29 or somewhere in that neighborhood, right?
It's gonna be one of those classic like Tibbs years when he has continuity with an already playoff team
Right.
where he can just try to win every game within whatever margin it is because he's gonna maximize whatever it is we have barring injury.
Right. Right.
And if we have health,
But also
yeah,
be cognizant of the fact that for the most part, last season the Knicks were relatively healthy.
yeah,
And when a player got hurt, it was like one play was out and
not
not
two,
not two or
yep.
three players out at the same time.
It was like Randall was out for end of the season, and then before that was Brunson that was out, and
Brunson,
then it was
yep.
RJ, just RJ.
Yeah, yeah. And then Obi, remember Obi got hurt 11 games with the knee,
Yeah, and it was
right?
just one guy at a
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But if I don't think the roster is built, and no NBA
But
team
yeah, about to
for
say
that matter
no team is built to
is
handle two
built
of their
for
main guys going down. But it
right,
happens. It
right.
happens for sure.
But it happens. So just keep in mind that if everything goes right, like if Grimes can continue to build off of the last excuse me, last 40 games of the season where he shot about 41% from three, then now you're talking. And if you can get quickly to maintain that level of play where he was like 22 points on 46 from the floor
That's a
and
lot of points, Freezy.
41%. Yeah.
I would say like 17, 18. Because
No,
22 is a lot unless you started.
that's what I was gonna say, but you cut me
But
off.
Oh,
Maxie could get off the bench though.
That's what I was gonna say, but you cut me off. Right. What I'm saying is I because teams generally don't have a 22 point per game scorer coming off the bench.
yeah,
Right. You know what I'm saying? Guys just don't normally get that type of volume. And if they are that good,
they're starting.
a coach generally finds a way to insert them into the lineup. Right. But what I'm saying is if the guys are able to build off of how they finish the regular season, I think we can start this regular season on a flyer, right? Or out on a flyer, like flying out the box. The other thing too that we didn't take into account is at the beginning of last season, Jalen Brunson was about 17.6 assists. And then
He didn't want to step on any toes. He was just, but he
December
knows it's
hit.
his team now. So,
December hit and he just took off, bro. He was just out of here. Come December for the rest of the season, he was just out of here. Right. So now that we know that, now that we know what he can do, what Quickly can do, what Grimes can do, what Randall can do, right? Now you sprinkle in some Josh Hart magic and some Dante DiVincenzo being the Swiss Army knife as opposed to RJ. Now you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, this team might win 53, 55 games being led by a team that's relatively young. Because as soon as Evan Fournier is traded, the average because now that Derrick Rose is gone, this team is young, might be the youngest team in the NBA right now. I don't know who is,
no,
but
OKC is.
okay. But the Knicks are going to be up there because I think the only
They're gonna be like behind like maybe the Magic and OKC.
Yeah, they're
That's
like
about it.
fourth. They'll be like the
right,
fourth or fifth.
right,
But for being a team trying to win 50 games, that is very young, very very young.
right,
Because 50
But the
win
best
teams
part,
are approaching their 30s overall in age.
right,
and the
and then
best part about it is they work together. Like they're young enough to where they have the experience more than OKC, more than the Magic, so it could work in our favor.
Yeah,
right. Right. Kev Guapo, thank you for the generous contribution. He says, If we shoot better as a team, I predict 55 games. I 55 games is a lot. You have to catch a lot of teams and okay, let me just say it like this. The Knicks played over their head in a lot of games against some very good teams. And then the game after that against cellar dwellers, we played down to their level and lost.
Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we can maintain a level of consistency, right? If we can maintain that level of consistency, man, I think we can win 53, 55 games. 53 games is just I talk to Dre about this often, about how I feel like this team is a 50-win team, the one that won 47 games.
Yeah.
Because of how Drew Holiday hit those dagger threes over Grimes when Grimes was in his jersey.
Draped.
Yeah, Grimes could not have defended that any better. That's not Grimes' fault. A great player made a great play, right? And then the Dallas game where Dallas came back from down 9 with 50 seconds left to go in the game.
Blew that.
The Memphis game where Evan Fournier had 4 wide open threes at the end of the game and couldn't hit either. One of them, he set his feet and still missed. You remember he did the flyby, the guy closed out on Fournier, and he just took the one dribble, set his feet, and shot it, and he still missed.
You remember the game where RJ dunked, and he should have got a call
on
for
MLK
the foul?
Day. Yeah, on MLK Day. Yeah,
we lost that game, right?
Yeah, we lost the game in overtime.
Yep.
You remember the Chicago game, the game that ended our 9-game winning streak against Chicago, with DeMar DeRozan pump fake Grimes, and Grimes didn't jump. He just put his arm straight up, and the ref called the foul. And everybody was asking where the foul was at. You remember that?
Yeah.
And it was an and one to put them up by 1. Everybody looking like, yo, where was the foul? Grimes never touched that man. All Grimes did was put his hand straight up, and they called the foul on Grimes, right? And DeMar DeRozan was hit or miss in that game. So when you look back at certain games that we got taken from us, bro, I see this team is a 50-win team last year, but then at the same time, there were also games that we just laid that. You remember the Minnesota game, bro? You remember Torian Prince?
8 for 8 from 3.
Oh my god, bro. So there were also games that we just flat out just laid our jersey out there on the floor and didn't. And for that reason, I think that's the reason why they went out and got Josh Hart, bro. And yo, you remember the Clippers game when Nicholas Batum hit the prayer at the buzzer?
Oh, that game we came back.
Yeah, where we roared all the way back, and then we closed out on everybody. We started locking them down, and then Nicholas Batum hit a wild 3 at the buzzer.
Yeah,
like, oh god.
But Freezie, I'll say this: over the course of a regular season, it's 82 games. You're gonna lose in a myriad of ways,
right?
And you're gonna win in a myriad of ways too.
But the point that I'm getting at though is the great teams find a way to be more consistent. Right. Yeah. Last year, the Knicks were a really good team, but they were not great. What I'm telling you, Dre, is this year this team can be great. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The great teams are gonna lose, right? But they're not gonna lose based on situation stuff. Like random things don't happen to great teams, right? Like we beat the Celtics last year. When we beat the Celtics last year, bro, when we beat the Celtics, we looked as if we were the better team. When we beat the Celtics, they had that one game where they hit like 28 threes, and it was like a video.
Crazy.
It was like a video game. There was nothing you could do. They hit 28 threes, and I think we hit like 23 threes. And usually, a team hitting 23 threes or some number like that, they usually win.
Yeah, but it's when you hit those threes that matter, because that's how they beat us. They did all of that in the third and fourth quarter.
Jaylen Brown did the pull-up 3 on Randle. Right, Randle was like in this man's shirt. This dude put up from like 27 feet.
Tibbs was out here having us play drop coverage while they playing 5 out from 3. Al Horford killing us from 3.
Right,
that's another one.
Yeah, and so the point that I'm getting at to you guys is if you look at the jump from 47 to 53 and think it's impossible, don't think it's impossible. Just look at the fact that we lost to the Indiana Pacers at the end of the season last year. We lost to the New Orleans Pelicans last season at the end of the season. They came out and stomped us. We just laid our jersey on the ground. You remember that? We were like, and people were like, "Yo, but Brandon Ingram is playing out of his mind." I get it, but name 4 other Pelicans on the floor right now. So I'm not knocking. I'm not saying that the Knicks are gonna step into some type of miracle booth and come out. That what I'm saying is I could point to 5 losses last year, and be like, "Yo, all we had to do." If Tibbs would have slipped on a banana peel and Johnny Bryant would have took over, we'd have won 52 games. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Especially to the Toronto game on MLK Day. That game when he had Quentin Grimes guarding Pascal Siakam.
Pascal got about 6 inches on that.
Oh my God, bro! Come on.
I don't even
Tibbs, what
think
are you
Siakam's
doing?
better than Randle. I don't think Siakam's better than Randle.
Siakam having a spin cycle all night.
Yeah, y'all remember the closing out against Dallas where we double teamed Luka. We double teamed Luka with Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride was the double team man.
We were Freezie. We were fighting for the rebound off the free throw, and we knocked it out of each other's hands. And it fell into Luka's hands.
Yep.
Because if we would have just held it, if we would have gotten that, the game was over.
The game is over. Right, and then we left Christian Wood. Think about this. Christian Wood hit a 26-foot 3 on us, right? And then they come back down the court, and the guy that had been hot the entire time, Tim Hardaway Jr., we left him open because we went to Christian Wood.
Was that the same game where Grimes and Obi had a problem getting the pass through half court, and it just like kept going and it went out of bounds?
Yeah, that's the exact game, and that's the game where Grimes, where they were trapping Brunson, and they threw the inbounds to Grimes, and instead of Grimes dribbling up the floor, he turned to everybody and held it, and then they stuck their hands in there, and they wound up getting a joint possession, and the jump ball went to Dallas, and then Tim Hardaway hit a 3.
Out of all people, right?
Like Grimes, just dribble the ball up the floor, bro. You're a great free throw shooter.
Grimes be forgetting that he's a guard.
Yeah, he's a guard sometimes.
Grimes get the ball and think he a big man.
Like 250, 240 or something like that.
Who?
Nah, Grimes. I thought Grimes was like 240. My fault.
No. That man at his best, he's like 215.
At his best.
At his heaviest.
That's coming into the season before he sweat some of that weight off.
Yeah, like probably finish the year at 210.
Yeah. And so it was plays like that all year. If you're a Knicks fan and you look back at how the season played out, man, you should be optimistic about a lot of the things that you saw. And I'm sorry for those that want me to argue with people about stuff. Like, I ain't gonna listen, man. The team was very good last year. I'm not getting ready to argue with people over how good the team was. Like, I'm not getting ready to say like, man, RJ Barrett. I ain't getting ready to do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say, you know what I'm saying? It might be time for us to look at either RJ improving or getting RJ out of here. Because even though I love RJ, I'm a Knicks fan first. Right?
This is his put up or shut up year for sure.
Yeah.
Because this is his year getting paid $23 million.
Right.
And then, I need $23 million production.
Right. And then
from the jump.
And then BT, think about it. Next summer, do you really want to have a conversation about RJ Barrett developing with knowing he'll be going into his 6th NBA season?
Plus all the draft picks we got coming in too. We got to work on which is the future, and we got to move on from RJ.
Picks are getting traded. Hold on a second. As me being one of the biggest RJ supporters, I so totally agree. You know what I'm saying? That he has to step up, or he got to get the hell on, yo.
And we want to support him too. We want to support him while he step up, bro.
Yo, man, I do. You know me. You know me. I do want to support him because we drafted him and he wanted to be here. But yo, son, if the son don't show up, he got to go. He got to go.
Yeah, man. That's the thing with RJ. Not that I dislike RJ, but at some point we can't use the same excuse year after year after year after year after year. We can't say, well, RJ Young, he only need one more season. We sound like the Frank Ntilikina fans. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Frank is. They said Frank is 6'8" now. We sound like the Trevor Keels fans.
I was
Hey,
going
man,
to say
Trevor
that.
Keels is 6'9" now.
I got a quick question. With this team, right? Do you feel like we're like, I don't want to really compare this, but like, you know how like the Toronto Raptors were when they had DeMar DeRozan, where like they were always really good, but they were kind of stuck at like that at that
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that once we make that move, like it would be that Kawhi Leonard effect where like fit. That's it. I know that was like a special year just because that never really happened like that. But do you think that we're there? Where like we've obviously see the potential of this team that we can go get the 50 games, that we can obviously have a young core. We got guys who are ready now, and it's like let's make that move. The next 2 or 3 years is ours.
What you think, Lee?
Is Lee
I'm
here?
gonna tell you right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. No, 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 no. I just went on mute. Cause I'm playing Madden. Uh, yeah, I honestly believe so. I believe. He, my man, got to just show up. Personally,
Okay.
I think we're a lot closer to where we want to be.
Yeah.
It's a big ask, but if he
yeah.
actually turned the corner in the playoffs, and that is a real
I think
thing, if that version of RJ is real, then the league might be in trouble
that's what I'm
fast.
believing. That's what I'm believing. That's what I'm totally believing. Like he really did turn the corner. Like I really want to believe that right now.
Let's say RJ don't pan out and we end up trading Grimes and RJ. Who's that guy that we need to go on the top then?
Who you think?
Me, honestly, to tell you the truth, I wanted. That's actually a good question. I still want Jalen McDaniels, but if we're gonna go for it, I want a guy that's actually gonna be that dude. So small forward, give me a sec, because there's a lot of guys I gotta think. Give me a sec.
Might
Give
as
me a sec.
well.
There
Okay.
aren't too many actually available because Paul George apparently was out there. That's
I can't do Paul George because I can't guarantee he'll be on the court the whole season. But for mid season, yeah, I'll do that trade for Paul George mid season.
Nah,
like
I need that PG. Oh my, in the
uh,
playoffs, oh my gosh.
I'm gonna keep it real with you as far as like a plug and play factor, like someone's skill set that would fit seamlessly. Paul George is the ideal. It's just
Yeah.
according to the Knicks, you don't want to pay that price,
No, I'm
Right.
saying for the half
and
season
then
though.
we have to pay him too. So,
But if it gets us, think about it, because if we play half the season and RJ don't pan out and neither does Grimes, and we trade those two and get PG at half season and we end up going further, I think that would be a perfect trade because we'll
but you
actually.
got to pay him. You got to pay him.
I'd
Paul
pay
George
him.
is looking for a bag.
Look, we ain't won in 50 years. If he could give us that half season production to where we in the finals, I'm okay with it. Because what has it been since 2000?
But you,
Since we
but you, but you didn't hear what he said though. He was like, "Yo, in order for the deal to go through,
you
you got
got to
to
pay.
pay Paul George." Yeah.
Yeah, and I
You
said for
gotta
that
pay
half
to
season
play.
to the finals, I'll pay him.
Okay.
No, 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 no. He wants that extension as soon
Now.
as he get here.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Not if we go far in the playoffs, so we can use it as a negotiation tactic. Because like if we get him and we lose in the first round, we're gonna be like we're gonna try to lowball him in a deal.
Yeah. Or try to trade him again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and for him, he's like I want my bread. So as soon as you trade for me, what's the negotiation? Like we need to get this done before we even get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I mean,
It wouldn't be
yeah.
Paul George then, because yeah, I see what you're saying. The second we trade him, we got to sign him immediately. I got you.
Yeah,
Like
man.
a lot of him even coming here is based on the fact of signing him,
Yeah.
not necessarily using him as a rental or whatever. And if you're using him as a rental, you don't want to cash all your chips for a rental. That would be silly.
Yeah. And then Paul George at a rental at 35, you're not gonna get the same return, bro. Or 34, you're not gonna get the same return as you did when Paul George at 33 or whatever he is right now. Paul George a year older, you're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to recoup your stuff back.
Well,
Nope.
if that's the case, then to be honest with you, if we're gonna do that, then I'd do a crazy trade. But y'all might not think about this. I'd get rid of Mitchell. I'd get rid of Grimes and RJ. I know this is a reach, but I'd get Aiton just to see if we could go ahead and do something with that. That way we could replace the center position and have an offense. Yeah, our defense would be lacking, but we still got that potential, like you said, with the 5 spot. I'd
Okay.
go for Aiton then with those three, but that's a lot to give up for Aiton too, though.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money. So
But like I
Ain
said,
Ain Ain would come here and be immediately the highest paid player on the Knicks.
Yep.
yeah,
And
mm,
he's a $20 million difference between him and Mitch
I mean,
coming
oh,
into this year. And the gap is only going to get wider because Mitch descends and Aiden ascends.
Yeah. So you had to do Fournier and Mitch in
Mitch,
order to make the money, right? And then you have to give up a bunch of draft
Picks
yeah.
picks.
because we giving them junk at that point. You
Yeah.
gotta
You
sweeten the
know what it
deal.
is?
Yeah.
For me,
And
it's like
those protected picks ain't worth nothing, bro. So
Nothing. They ain't worth. They
they
ain't
want
worth
our
two
picks
dad
and they
flies.
want and the swaps and those protected joints.
well
They
for
ain't
me
worth
though.
two dad flies smashed together,
You
bro.
you guys right about that, but for me, it's like, hey, I'd rather go all in now because if we get to the finals now,
That
and
is
I
that. Well, why would that be all in? Wouldn't Embiid be all in?
Embiid is all in.
Yeah.
mm, I don't know about Embiid because you know what it is. Maybe it's my injury bias
You don't
toward.
know about an MVP?
No, it ain't that because I honestly don't think he deserves it.
So
So
why would you say that about Embiid and not about Paul George? Because
what?
you get like 7 minutes ago you was talking about Paul George.
No, I didn't want Embiid. That's what Dre asked. Dre asked, "Wouldn't you do that for Embiid?" I was like,
And
"Nah, I wouldn't
no,
do it."
no, but I'm saying you said you would go in on Paul George, and
Yeah,
we was telling you that Paul George wasn't coming because
because
he
of the
wants
money.
his contract extension. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I said I would rather go with Paul George because at least at the end of the day, I feel like his half a season would be a lot better than Embiid because at least he'll be here playing harder and actually play through the playoffs as opposed to where Embiid, I haven't really seen him be consistent in the playoffs. Even though he is an MVP, I still think Jokic deserves it. But for me, I think it's Embiid still has a lot of question marks. For me,
Okay. Okay.
Hey man, I'm not about to talk down on the top 5 player. You
I'm
Right.
not saying he's
Embiid,
not.
I'm saying like Embiid comes here, he's instantly the most talented player to ever put on a Knicks jersey since Patrick Ewing.
Yep.
Instantly.
Is that because of his MVP or what
No,
makes
no,
you
no, 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 no. He has that level of talent. Period.
okay?
Now the other stuff in terms of being healthy and constantly getting like he broke his face twice in the last like 4 years going into the playoffs. Like he's just bad luck. Like I don't know how you break your face twice,
Right.
but but like all these other things,
It's
yeah,
okay.
like and the injuries and I can understand where you can bring like be hesitant about it,
Yeah,
but
and I would be hesitant with Paul George too, though. I see our point. I should
and,
be
but
hesitant.
Paul George is 33 going 34. He wants an extension. Like there's a commitment when you go into the Paul George. There's two different types of commitments. You're committing more assets going after Embiid, but Embiid is ultimately the more impact player because he's just that level of player. And then the commitment you're making with Paul George is that you want to be paying Paul George near max money while he's entering the twilight of his career as an injury prone wing because wings are injury prone. So like by the time he's 36, you comfortable paying Paul George 60 million when he's
Yeah,
36?
I see your point. You good?
Because that's what he wants.
Why can't we?
If Paul George was cool making RJ Barrett money, we would have been done did the deal.
Right.
It would have happened. It would have
Yeah,
happened on July 1st.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where it's there's commitments that you have to make, and it's checks and balances, and
I'll take
there's
that. Take that
the
because at the end of the day, for me in my mind, it's like I mean, with the draft picks and everything, it's just I feel right now we're not one piece away. Like we're just a few steps away from where we need to be, and I just think that Paul George, him coming in at half a season, but you guys are right at the age and everything we got to pay him is a lot, but we just need that one piece to just be like, all right, now we got it certified. You know what I'm saying? It's
Because
like,
if we just removing like the age part and the contract part, there's very few players that are more perfect fit for what we need.
Then Paul George, bro.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
no,
just the other stuff, the business part of the NBA gets in the way. Yeah.
and
Right.
I'm not even gonna front. We've been doing real well. The front office has been doing good with trimming fat at the right time. Like y'all, even Knox and freaking Obi and all of that. It's I'm looking at it like at the time you was trading
Terrible
them.
draft picks,
What
man.
you doing?
Yeah.
You might have as well lit the draft pick on fire and not
Yeah,
even
Right.
drafted anyone.
I still say to this day, man, I wish we would have traded and got Jalen Wilson from King from dang. Oh man.
Jalen Williams,
No, not Jalen Williams. He went to the Nets for the 51st pick. I forget the team he went to. Jalen Wilson, excuse me. He was the
Jalen
51st pick for the
Jalen
Nets.
Wilson.
Yeah, I think it was Kansas. This year they drafted him 51st.
Yeah.
I think if we had someone like that who could just
He
basically
would
come,
not play. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's not
yeah.
playing. Not with Tips here. Tips ain't no.
Why?
What do you mean why? He's a
Yeah.
late second rounder and he's young.
And he's
Yeah.
young.
But I'm just saying, like that style of play, I really would have like been good at because to me, him being
The
able to shoot,
the
him being
only I'm saying like the only like young player that Tibbs is gonna play off the rip is someone that played in college more than 1 year, preferably
He's
preferably
talking about
three.
Jalen Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
bro,
he's talking about, but like he would like an upperclassman that's a high floor, low ceiling guy, i.e. i.e. um
Grimes.
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 Yeah.
y'all said it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where that's the only way you're gonna get on the court.
And my fear with Tibbs is because I think Grimes can turn into a Courtney Lee, right?
But
But
that would be a disappointment if he did.
no, I'm just talking about just naturally left to his own devices, like a secondary ball handler, good shooter, complimentary player, kind of effective on defense. You know what I'm saying?
And then he stagnated in his development somehow
Right,
and
but
just stayed.
that wasn't because of Courtney Lee didn't show promise in New Orleans.
I
Courtney
mean,
Lee looked like
Magic
he was gonna be
on the Magic. I think he was on that team for the finals run, and like
yeah, he was something, bro.
they were
But
they were hedging their bets, like, oh, he's gonna be
he's gonna be,
something special,
but he
and then it
stagnated.
just
Man, thank
yeah.
you, Stan Van Gundy. Thank you, old school coaches, bro.
I'll give you another one that's like that. Gary Harris.
Gary Harris, Aaron
Where's he at?
Aflalo,
Where them dudes at? Dudes go to Orlando and just their career just spiral out of
Aaron
control.
Aflalo, like Jet Howard. You better be careful, Jet Howard.
Dudes go to Orlando as a two guard that can shoot, and their careers just spiral out of control.
Yeah,
Show promise, and then it's like the
They
Bermuda
just fall
Triangle.
off. Nick Anderson. Thank you,
Right.
Orlando.
Yeah, couple missed free throws, and that's it.
Yeah, 2 trips. He missed all
Oh.
4 free throws.
My God,
Yeah, man.
brutal. If that happened in New York, he would never be able to live in the city
No,
ever again.
ever, unless you crazy like John Starks. Unless you crazy, unless you just don't, say you fear for your life walking up to John Starks, bro.
Well, John Starks is special. He got on the Knicks
Oh, he's
trying a tryout. You know how hard it is to make a team via tryout.
Yeah. Larry Brown was like, Larry Brown told Don Nelson, he was like, yo, no guy on your team will practice harder than this dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don Nelson, Larry Brown convinced Pat Riley to give him a shot. You know what I'm saying? And when you got cats like that saying your name
Off the street, tryout.
Yeah. So man, hey man, so I was gonna wrap up here because we got to do a show in the morning. So we're gonna do a joint with Rel and King Kai and the Atlanta analyst, and Damon from We Talk Hawks TV, bro. That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. At
What
some
time y'all
point,
doing it? I want to make sure I set my
10:30,
alarm.
10:30. Yeah, man. We definitely, the notification is definitely gonna go out. You know
Thanks
what I'm
for
saying?
having me on, man.
And we bring in Big Tone in the fold at some point, man. And SB Sports Talk, man, from the Chicago perspective. It's a lot of people, man. We trying to build up this family, bro. So that we can talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Putting out dope content, no fake arguments, no talking about the same topic over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to be different. And I know Knicks fans, listen, I know y'all like, you know what I'm saying, some of the fake arguments. And I know y'all like talking about Tom Thibodeau rotations until you want to throw up in your mouth. But we're going to try to like bring some different type, you know, some different type content y'all way. Thank y'all for rocking with BT. Thanks.
No
Dre,
problem, man. Yeah, have a good morning.
Fantastic. As usual.
Appreciate it, boss.
The T-Mac thing, bro, you got to go back and watch Tracy McGrady, bro.
I saw it. I saw it. I was there. I was very much alive, Freezie, when it
Dre,
happened.
who you think is better, T-Mac or Wade?
T-Mac.
Oh, more talent.
T-Mac.
T-Mac had more talent for sure.
T-Mac,
but
all the way.
A better career. Wade had a better career.
Wade. But what if? But you ask a question like that. What if Kobe and T-Mac play together?
Oh God.
Right. So yeah. So when you say the Dwayne Wades of the world, like, oh, Dwayne Wade and Shaq or Dwayne Wade and LeBron.
I'll say this though. Peak Wade did average 30 points per game for a season.
Yeah, he was good.
Mm-hmm. He was good.
But so does SGA. SGA averaged that, bro.
Exactly.
So the T-Mac.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, bro. But just imagine you take John Morant and mix him with Jason Tatum, and that's half of what Tracy McGrady was.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those days in Toronto.
Yo, T-Mac dunked on Sean Bradley. It's the most disrespectful dunk you ever, bro. There is no other dunk more.
I'd say the Shaq dunk on our boy.
Nah.
I got it.
No, that was disrespectful. But Tracy McGrady called that man's name, Bradley, and Sean Bradley turned around and met him at the rim.
But then again, y'all also forget when he was in Orlando and he played against the Knicks, he dropped 50 in 3 quarters and they sat him the fourth quarter like nothing.
Bro,
so,
this dude comes from
a different cloth.
This dude called Sean Bradley's name so Sean Bradley can meet him at the rim. And Sean Bradley, I don't know if y'all remember, but Sean Bradley was 7'6". It could jump a little bit and had super long arms. And he jumped over that dude and dunked the ball. It's not like Vince Carter dunking over Frederick Weiss, where it was just like some goon from a foreign country that'll never play in the league. This was the number 2 pick in the draft. He did like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
That actually faded off his career. Nobody remember him besides that.
Yeah, man. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank y'all for watching, everybody.